Welcome to Wealth Coffee Chats, folks, for your daily live updates. Get the most out of today's episode by participating in the chat. Make sure you ask some questions, be part of the conversation, have a bit of fun, grab a coffee or a tea, take some notes, and get ready to start your day, folks. Quick few housekeeping rules, though. No spamming, no advertising or self-promotion in the chat. That's not on. Be kind and respectful to everyone when participating. And most of all, have a good time. Real estate investing can be your biggest asset. It also can be your most expensive asset when it comes to getting it right or getting it wrong, folks. It can be time-consuming, stressful, and that's why here at Positive, we have what's called a 6-star team, a full-service team that provides integrated wealth and property investing solutions and services simply designed to help you progress towards your goal of passive income through your property portfolio, folks. Make sure you check out our other podcasts on the Positive Mentor Network. Not only is there Wealth Coffee Chats, there's the Urban Property Investor. Drops every Wednesday with straight talking investing strategies and lessons with Sam Saggers. Property Investor Tales. This is where our clients, you guys, share real life stories from property investing, hosted by some of our advisors and strategists. And that's done every fortnight, dropping every Monday. Wealth, Wine and Wisdom, folks, that debriefs the week that was in the world of finance and property, hosted by yours truly, Jason Witten and Andy Fenton on Fridays. Hey, good morning, folks.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat.
Hope you're well, folks, wherever you are.
There it is, team. Morning. Morning, wherever you're tuning in from today.
Early bird gets the worm, they say. Here at Positive, we offer a 6-star team. It's a team that help you at every stage of your wealth creation journey.
General advice disclaimer. The information provided is general in nature and does not take into account your personal objectives, financial situation, or needs. Before acting on any information, you should consider whether it is appropriate for your circumstances and seek professional advice from a licensed financial advisor. While every effort has been made to ensure the accuracy of the information, it is not guaranteed. It is based on our understanding of regulations and laws as at the publication date. As these are subject to change, you should talk to a professional advisor for the most up-to-date information. Any examples or illustrations provided are for illustrative purposes only and are not a guarantee of future performance. We do not accept any liability for any loss or damage incurred by reliance on the information provided. Any opinions expressed are subject to change without notice. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and all investments carry risks. Neither the hosts, guests, nor any affiliated entities accept liability for any loss or damage arising from reliance on the information provided. By listening to this podcast and viewing this presentation, you acknowledge and agree to these terms.
Good morning, team. Welcome to another episode of Wealth Coffee Chats with myself, Alex, from the financial planning team. Looking to bring you up to date and give you some insights into what we do and any other areas. So listen, guys, today what I want to take you through is probably the most common question I get asked outside of strategy, and that is, what is it like to, what's the process to engage a financial advisor, and what should we expect? Because a lot of people coming in to see us for the first time, they've never really had exposure to financial advisors or spoken to them before. So I thought I might take you through and give you a bit of a glimpse as to our approach. So every advisor will have a different way of seeing or onboarding their clients. We have our way, and we think that that's probably a good way that helps us learn about and understand the client, and also educates the client along the way so that they can make the right decisions with their strategies. So I guess where do we begin, right? So the initial conversation typically happens either at one of the events during the year, or it might be by a referral from one of our sort of internal staff. And typically, we call this meeting an introduction call. So this is where we kind of spend 10, 15 minutes just asking broad questions just to understand whether we are the right fit and whether we can actually help you as well. Because sometimes, you might be in a very good position and you might only need guidance. And at the end of the day, you want to be getting value out of your engagement, whether that's an advisor, accountant, lawyer, whoever it might be. You want to get value. So we see that as well. So we don't want to just go in and, give advice because we can. It's just more about, are we the right fit? Can we work together? Do we see a longer term relationship together as well? So at that point, we kind of give you a high level understanding as to what the process looks like. We ask a number of questions, and then from there, we basically determine whether we can go ahead to the next stage. So, and what I might do now, I'll share my screen because we've got a bit of a template that we use to illustrate the sort of the process. Let me get my pen. Hopefully you guys can see this, right? So let's have a look. So let's just say intro call. We've done the intro call. We said, yep, there's definitely gaps in your strategy. Let's get into working out what the plan may be. But before we do that, we actually need to learn more about you. So this is where we have what we call a discovery session. And during that discovery session, we actually make sure that we fully understand your position from financial perspectives. So everything around super, insurances, bank accounts, properties, equities, share portfolios, whatever it might be. We want to make sure that we build out a very solid foundation of our understanding of you, because we need to be on the same level, maybe even better. We should know you even better than you do, and that will give us a very solid foundation from which we can go ahead and build out our strategies, right? So we also talk about other things like goals and objectives, making sure that we're not just sitting there and wasting time, understanding your financial position, which always changes, right? It's like the weather in Melbourne, right? Like on Monday we had hail, and then on Tuesday, or actually yesterday, Wednesday, it was like 31 degrees. So financial situation always changes. So, but your objectives, right? Your longer term strategies, they are potentially, right? You might have some shorter objectives, you might have some longer objectives, but we need to quantify those, right? We need to, what they call, create a SMART goal so that we have an aim, we have a horizon. We're not just looking into space and, seeing a billion stars. We need to kind of build out the roadblocks to the next event. So once we take you through the discovery, we understand you, we agree on everything. We actually also take you through our house view on investing, on the economy, what strategies do we typically use in the general terms for clients. So it kind of gives you a lot of information on the back of this meeting. So once we have the solid understanding of you, we then go into what we call a strategy development stage. So this is something that myself and the rest of my team, we would sit around and we would actually break down all of the information that we've now collected, confirmed, and we are now ready to go through and design the strategy for you. So this stage is more like a pre-build type of stage where you get all of your materials ready, you design the plan. At no point is this a concrete plan just yet, because sometimes it might be, if we go this direction or that direction, it will give us a different outcome. So sometimes we have to go back and have a conversation with you, which is kind of goes to the next section, which is this strategy presentation. This is where we all connect and we present the strategy to you with different options, right? So to give you an example, so this year, I think a lot of clients of mine have been looking to set up a self-managed super fund, right? And essentially, when we do that, we want to make sure that it's the right thing for the client. It's not just like, you come into us and you say, I want a self-managed super fund. We need to make sure that you, one, understand the responsibilities, pros and cons of it all. And we'll look at other options as well, because sometimes, you might want to only invest into equities, and that's why, you go with SMSF. But realistically, a lot of the super funds now, retail industry, they all have that option as well now. Yes, it might cost a little bit more, but these are the things that we need to go through and identify. So once we present the strategy, this is where we have those discussions, right? So this is where we actually taking out strategies that may not be relevant or may not be achievable just right now, or maybe strategies that, yes, they're good in general, but maybe it's something that we'll do in a couple of years' time because the timing is not right, because there's all these other things that need to happen, right? So this is part of building your plan, right? So this is when, if you listen back to my podcast, this is where I sort of mention things around, look, review your strategies, put together a plan. And this is what we're talking about here, right? This is our core foundation blueprint for what we are looking to do over the next little while. So once we agree on the strategy and, we've gone through different options, this is where we then put together what we call a statement of advice, which is a legal document that is provided and should be provided to you. If you ever see an advisor and you don't get that, then that's a red flag straight away, because it is a compliance document. It outlines all of these discussions that we've had, reasons for the strategies, pros and cons, costs, all those things. So once everything is documented, we then go into what is called an implementation phase. Right, so the implementation phase for us is kind of broken down in a couple of sections. And look, the journey could be different for everyone. This is more of a broader sort of spec of what the full journey looks like. Sometimes, if it's a specific issue that we're looking to solve, then you might skip through some sections, or you might be on one stage for a little bit longer, right? So I've got a couple of clients at the moment where, we've been at the strategy phase for a little while, because there's so many unknowns and so many critical things that, I'm spending time with the accountants, with the solicitors, with the brokers to work it out, so that we don't, when we get to the implementation, everybody is 100% across what needs to be done, and we're not scrambling at that point and trying to find a solution. So strategy is super important. So implementation. So at this point, we have a Kickstart appointment, which is essentially this is where we're signing off on all the documents to make the implementation work, because you probably, if you were to experience refinancing, for example, you have to sign a lot of documents. Very similar situation here, right? So if you're setting up self-managed super funds, if you're setting up a family trust, if you're moving from A to B, right, everything has to have a document. Luckily, a lot of it now can be done digitally, but there's still certain things that need to be done with paper. So anyway, we take you through that. We explain what the forms are. They get filled out, and then we send them off to wherever they need to be sent. So the stage after that is what we call a tech ready. This is more about if you want to understand where everything is now sitting. So, it's like moving from one bank to another. You kind of like, oh, what's going on? The template or the desktop of my view looks different. Like, where do I go to, find this information on my account? So this is where we take you through that stage, and we help you understand how to navigate the platforms or the desktops with which you've been set up. Once the core of the advice is complete, then we have a meeting to sort of explain. All right, so everything is now complete from a core perspective. Like I said, there's some strategies that may take a couple of years to complete. Sorry, I've been yapping on, but there's people jumping on. Good morning, Carolyn. How are you? Sorry to didn't say hello. I'm sharing the screen and I kind of got lost there. Morning, Jeff. How are you? Good to see you. What do we got? Contacted 2 banks with my ING offer 5.04, both matched. Is that on the lending side or is that on the fixed interest bank deposit? And then we've got ING saying that's a good rate. So I assume it's the interest rate on the a loan of some sort, whether that's PPR or investment. Yeah, that would be pretty good. So I've covered off on the interest rates last week, Jeff. So if you want to jump on that, but in short, unlikely to see any sort of movement for the little while. Maybe if we do see a movement, it might be going back up. So, all right. Sorry to not call you guys out earlier. No, definitely good to see you guys in the chat. So, just coming back to this. So, momentum meeting. It's all about this is what we've done in terms of implementation. So these items have been implemented. These items are still pending, or they might take a little while because we might be strategically waiting for the right time for that implementation to take place. So it's still happening, but it might not happen right now because strategically we want to take advantage of the time in certain cases. So, and the last stage before we kind of get into ongoing relationship around our engagement is we look at the game plan. So the game plan is all about seeing how far you have come from the initial stages from when we first sort of met, right? So introduction, discovery, and all the way to the end. So now we've implemented all of our strategies, or very close to. We've made changes to whatever we've spoken about, and now it's the foundation is set, right? So the core foundation is set. So the next stage from here is to build on that, because once you complete certain tasks, which by the way could be straight away, some things you might achieve, bang, your objective is done, tick. But then there's other objectives that will take a year or multiple years to actually implement. So things like debt recycling, right? That's like an ongoing strategy for many years. Dollar cost averaging into an investment, again, a very long strategy to implement as well. So this is where we basically summarize all of that, and we say, okay, well, what's next? What are the next sort of 12 months to 24 months that we want to be focusing on, and be preparing you in relation to that stage, right? So that's basically the onboarding process, right? So this process can take anywhere between sort of 30 to 60 days and longer. Previously our onboarding process was taking a little bit longer, like around sort of, I would say, 90 to 120 days. But now we've refined a lot of aspects from our end over the last sort of 18 months, and we are sort of seeing sort of the 60 to 90 day turnaround time in terms of the engagement from the start to what we call a game plan, which is where we set out the next stages of your journey. Morning, Pat. Good to see you, mate. So there's some clients online that are going through this right now, and they're sort of on the like finishing line of that stage. So, but ultimately, this is what you should be expecting, right? Again, every advisor will do things differently. They might, combine everything into one meeting, or they might have just two. For us, we want to spend as much time as needed in order for us to learn and understand your situation so that we can provide you with the right advice and comprehensive advice as well, right? So we do start with a holistic view around all of our engagement. So as in we don't limit you to anything, even though you might say, hey, Alex, I just want to focus on my investments, right? I'll say, yeah, no worries, that's fine. But let's just have a look just outside of that, just really quick, just to see if there's any potential red flags that we need to address. Because sometimes if you don't know or someone doesn't point it out, you're not going to know that it's an area that you need to be looking into. And by way of example, a typical one is around estate planning. A lot of people don't have their estate planning sorted, right? It's a completely different topic. I'll take you through, guys, that probably next time or maybe in 2026. But a very common area to be not really thought of. And typically when it is thought of, it's too late, right? Because something might have happened and you are unable to do anything about it at that stage. But yeah, so this is how we operate. Right. So that's our process, intro call, discovery, strategy, development, strategy meeting, implementation broken down into different sections. And then, the game plan, which is this is the foundation that we've now built for you and where to next from there. So we've got Caroline, estate planning is so important. Absolutely. It's like I said, it's probably one of those areas that doesn't get as much focus as the rest of the strategies because, it's all good and well to build out your investment portfolio. But, if all of that gets broken up into pieces without your sort of control, then that's a problem, right? So you always have to have a plan B or an exit strategy with everything that you do, and estate planning is a crucial part about it. So yeah, I think I'll definitely cover off on that in the future. So yeah, but I'm sure if you guys come along to our lunch and learns sessions as well, if there's interest in it, then we'll cover off on that in more detail as well, because it's a big topic. Typically, I think I've gone over time today, but you're looking at probably an hour worth of content just on that one specific area, which is very underutilized. So look, guys, hopefully that helped you and hopefully gave you a little bit of an insight as to what to expect from engaging a financial advisor. It's a completely different sort of process to, say, an accountant or a lawyer, potentially, right? So like I said, we do spend quite a bit of time on the upfront side just to make sure we know you guys really well. We've got Iron Jaw, done all that after my divorce and health matters. Yeah, mate. So, it's never too late. Get it done as soon as possible, I would say. Especially after events like that, and it's good time to actually review your situation as well. When it comes to family matters, if there's any changes in that regard, then 100% you probably want to go back and have a look at who are your beneficiaries and powers of attorney that you have in place, because sometimes you might have that family member that you may or may not want to have in there that you've done 10 years ago. So yeah. All right, guys, I'll finish up on there. If you have any questions, send us a message. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next Thursday, which may be the last episode for the year. We'll see. All right, guys, thank you very much for tuning in and for being interactive in the chat. So see you all next week. See you later. Bye.
Thanks for watching another episode of Wealth Coffee Chat, folks. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you never miss a thing when we go live. Improve your portfolio and investing game, folks, with Wealth Coffee Chats live every morning at 8:10 each weekday. Make sure you join us. Previous episodes are also available wherever you get your podcasts, folks, as well as our other podcasts from the Kickstart team here at positivementor.com.au.